And if you're going to pray for me, I don't need prayers for courage. Sometimes I got too much, but I need prayers for wisdom and discernment. That's my shortcoming. And
what did you make of the Pope recently saying that the world needs to act on climate change, and said that God will judge those on how they leave the earth?
And he, he's the Pope. The trouble is, he has been persuaded that climate change is something that's dramatically affecting the planet right now. He's bought into all this. And I have nothing but the utmost respect. I thank God for the Catholic Church. I thank God for the stances of prior popes and this pope. But we have had popes that made enormous mistakes that were influenced by the world around them. But if he'll just really objectively look at the data and see that the world is really not warming, and that's why supporters of global warming had to change the name to climate change, because it was going back and forth. But climate change, I don't see it so much as a problem. Where I live in East Texas, we have climate change. I totally believe that. I know that to be a fact. In fact, we have it 4 times a year. So,
you said that the Pope has been persuaded by people. By whom?
By the massive onslaught of media trying to convince the world that climate change is our leading problem. I mean, the president said it repeatedly, and I think it's wonderful if the Pope listens to the words of a U.S. president. That's a good thing. But, so many places do not even allow an opposing viewpoint. Conferences don't allow an opposing viewpoint. Since when, well, that's a rhetorical question. I was going to say, since when does science not allow opposing viewpoints? Well, they didn't allow Galileo to make an opposing viewpoint. There were a lot of accurate opposing viewpoints that weren't allowed at the time that were later allowed to come in, and people wondered, how in the world did that whole group of educated people come to the wrong conclusion? So climate change, it happens, it will always happen. And there are cycles. I remember reading a headline on one of the big national magazines that we were at the beginning of the new ice age back in the 70s, and I thought, the world does not end with an ice age. Well, this is just the beginning. It's a long way off. But they were wrong then, and I think there'll be another cycle to come.